Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my replay. I am Carmen of CarmenAndreaHarris.com. I am a life coach and a resilient strategist. I help women to find and create a pathway for joy. And I'm going to see if Facebook will build me an audience, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started here. See, can I share this out on my actual timeline here? Okay, boom, here we go. Share it on there. I have not gone live all year, guys, so bear with me. I do have something meaningful to say, so bear with me. Facebook, I do not own the rights to this music. So again, my name is Carmen Andrea Harris. You'll see kids in the back. I have kids in the back. I asked them not to be in my video, but of course that is a way of them getting in the video. Anyways, I am Carmen Andrea Harris. You can go to my website to learn more about me. I'm a life coach and resilient strategist. I help women to find and create a pathway for joy. And some fun facts about me: I was widowed at the age of 38. This is my brand, Wife, Widow, Warrior. Shameless plug. And I'm also a homeschool mom. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a review of 2021, my review of 2021. And just going to be talking about the different lessons that I learned, or just the different takeaways that I learned, because I'm a big believer in when you go through things, when you experience things, it's not just because of happenstance. Like, it has a reason for it, and there's a lesson or some wisdom that you should be gaining as a result of it. So I just want to share my 2021 in review. So 2021, last year, it started off with a young lady who I knew from my church in Atlanta. She actually was the one who evangelized me into joining the church in Atlanta that I was a part of before everything happened with my husband. So she evangelized me into joining the church. She also was there for me one Sunday. I remember I was crying uncontrollably after my late husband passed away, and she was just hugging me, consoling me, telling me that it was all right. And she really made an impact in my life. We weren't close, we weren't friends, nothing like that, but she made an impact in my life. So at the beginning of 2021, she passed away from COVID, and it really affected me because she was so kind to me, and I knew she loved God's people. And then also because she was super young, like she was in her 20s, and she was a doctoral candidate. She was working on getting her doctorate. So it like really affected me and threw me for a loop, and it made me think about how precious that life is. Of course, I knew that with my late husband and even before, but it just really highlighted how precious life can be. So that like started off 2021 last year. Then and I'm just going to highlight good things and bad things that happened. Then in March, it was my birthday. It was my 41st birthday, and I decided to have a photo shoot. And my photo shoot, it was like a rebirthing of sorts, because I hadn't done anything for myself since my late husband had passed away. I hadn't had a photo shoot in years. So it was like a rebirthing of sorts for me. And when I was doing the photo shoot, like God told me to do it, like go and book the photo shoot today before you leave the house. So that was something that was special for me. Then in April of last year, I finally got a chance to meet in person one of my closest, not one of my closest, but my closest widow sister friends. Like, I met her in 2020. I met her in 2020. She reached out to me through Instagram because she was looking for some coaching. She was looking for some help because she had recently became widowed. So we got on the phone. It was like a regular coaching call, and it was an instant connection. I knew that God had connected us. I knew that she was not just a coaching client. I knew that she was supposed to be my friend and my sister. So we connected instantly in 2020, like would talk on the phone for hours, like we had known each other for years. So I finally got a chance to meet her in April of 2021. She was living in Jacksonville. We met up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Got a chance to meet each other, connected, her daughter, my daughters. We all connected, had a really great time. In May of last year, my daughters, they got a chance to meet my spiritual mentor. This is someone who they would always see me watching her videos. They would always hear me talking about her, and I would say, oh, that's your auntie. That's auntie such and such. But I call her Dr. such and such. So my girls got a chance to meet with her in person. And what was so special about it is she prayed, she prophesied over my daughters. We had a really great time just sitting down, having some meals, connecting with one another. And we met in Jacksonville, Florida, which is where my widow sister friend was from. I didn't get a chance to meet up with my widow sister friend because she had some stuff going on, and I was going there specifically to meet up with my spiritual mentor. So that happened in May. It was just really special for my girls to finally get a chance to meet her and for her to pray and just prophesy over them and to speak into their life. June, I like to call June Christmas in June, because in June I was God restored me. Like, he released a huge restorative blessing on me in June. So much so that I was able to upgrade the vehicle that I was in. So June was like a huge blessing. June was also the first month that I invested in high level coaching. Like, I had invested in coaching programs before and different things, but June was the first month where I invested into a coaching program that was like a significant amount of money that I hadn't done before, like mid 4 figures. So that was something as well, and it was a great investment. Totally shifted my mind. Then in July, I had an impromptu vacation with my brother, his kids, my mom. Like, it was just a total random vacation that I didn't plan on going on, but it was like so much fun, and it was so freeing, and it was so liberating to be able to just get up and go on a vacation without worrying about all the details, without worrying about money, without worrying about the logistics, without worrying about any of that. So that was really, really, really amazing. Then comes August of last year. Now, everybody, of course, August is the 8th month, so everybody's like, oh, it's a new beginning, it's a new beginning. But something in my spirit in August, like on August 1st, I was like, I kept hearing false start. So later on that day, my girls and I, we went swimming in our community. We came back home, and in my spirit, because I'm prophetic, in my spirit, I was like, I feel so disconnected from Tanya, which was my widow sister friend. I was like, I feel so disconnected from her. Like, what is up? And I could tell that God had brought us together because I felt connected to her. Like, you feel connected to people that you know God has like aligned you with. So I was like, I feel so disconnected from her. And less than an hour after I said that, I get a text message from her sister, her blood sister, telling me that she suddenly passed away. And I felt like the wind had been knocked out of my sails. Like, I really felt almost the same level of shock and grief and disbelief that I felt when my late husband passed away. And I was just super confused. I was like, okay, God, I know that you connected us together. I know that she was my sister. In fact, you know, you told me she was my sister for real. We were making plans to move to the same area, just making plans. She lived the same type of lifestyle as me. She was a homeschool mom. We live a fairly bohemian, just free type of lifestyle, an unusual type of lifestyle. Widowed moms, homeschooling their children, living in Florida where it's like sunny all year round, going to the beach, just, you know, living a different type of lifestyle. So with her sudden passing, it was kind of like a cruel joke. It was kind of like, okay, God, like what just happened here? I don't understand. Like, things were going good. You connected me with a sister that I could connect with, because a lot of people, they feel like, oh, such and such is a widow and such is a widow. Like, let me connect them together. They're going to be really good friends. And it doesn't happen like that. Yes, you know, from my position, if I meet a widow, like, my heart is with them. I minister to them because that's a part of my calling. But to find another widow that I connected with on a personal level, to where I wanted to let in my personal space, and we spent hours together on the phone and hanging out together and planning trips together, like, that was unusual. So for God to allow me to have such a strong connection with someone, and then for him to allow for her to pass away so suddenly. And I'm not going to say, like, this is a whole nother conversation of God's perfect will and God's permissive will. And it seemingly happened so randomly. Like, her passing was so random. Like, she didn't die from COVID. Like, everybody in 2021 who passed away, more than likely they passed away from COVID, but she didn't die from COVID. Like, her death was so random. And one of her biggest concerns and fears was she didn't want to leave her daughter before time. She didn't want to leave her daughter without both of her parents. And here it was, August 1st, she suddenly passes away. Her deepest, darkest fear comes to pass, and her daughter is left without both parents. And it really like did something to me. Like I didn't want to minister to any women anymore. I didn't want to coach any women anymore. I didn't want to be working on launching a business. Like I didn't want to do nothing. Like I found myself like slipping into a depression and slipping into just a deep cycle of grief of like, okay, God, like, I don't know what you want me to do right now other than to just, you know, feed my kids and just stay in the house and just kind of reflect, because I didn't want to do anything. And I remember getting on the phone with my grief therapist, and she was like, Carmen, like, you can pause there in that space, but you can't park there. You can't stay in that space of like, oh, I'm so sad, I can't do anything. And it was really a mind shift for me. It was really a big mind shift for me. So that was in August, just completely devastated. I was like, I was over it in August. September was a conference, Millions Conference in Tampa, Florida. My sister, who's my widow sister who suddenly passed away, Tanya, like we prayed that the conference would be in Tampa so we wouldn't have to travel far, so we could hang out together. We were going to celebrate VIP Day, which was September 2nd. That was going to be her 47th birthday. So for her to suddenly pass away, like I didn't even go to the conference in September, and I spent $1,000 for my ticket, for my VIP ticket. And I was like, I don't even want to go. Like, I don't want to be around people. Like, I'm over it. So that was in September. And then, I kind of came out of my depression. I kind of came out of it because I could feel her so heavy in my spirit saying, girl, I am fine. You have to finish your race. Because she was so strong in her faith. And that was one of the things where I just really felt blessed to be connected with her, because she was so strong in her faith. She was so mature in her spirituality and in her understanding of the word. And I was able to learn a lot from her, which was a breath of fresh air. So, I kind of got out of that space or whatever. And then in November, and this 2021 was literally like ebbs and flows, ups and down, ups and down. Then in November, I actually got another car. So I got 2 new cars in the same year. I woke up one day and I was like, I should have got the other car back in June. And I went to the dealership that day and I got another car, and that was like something that was exciting and happy for me. And then December, nothing really exciting happened in December other than being able to make it into 2022. So that was my 2021 in review. And I just had to really reflect, like, God, like 2021, it was like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that saying, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. Like, it was so many highlights to 2021, and then such a harsh blow in 2021 as well. And I'm like, okay, God, like, what is the purpose of that? Because we know that as long as we're on this earth, like, we're gonna go through cycles. And that's what I realized. Like, as long as we're on this earth, we're gonna go through cycles of grieving and healing. And grieving doesn't always have to be about the death of a person. Grieving can be about a relationship. It can be about a marriage. If you're divorced or you were ever divorced, you know that, well, you probably have went through a certain level of grief with that as well. You can be grieving a career. So God gave me some insight, and he was like, as long as you're on this earth, you're going to go through cycles of grieving and healing. But the most important thing, and this aligns with what my therapist told me, is you still have to remember to live in the midst of grieving and healing. Okay, so that's point number 1. That was a lesson number 1. We'll go through cycles of grieving and healing, but we can't forget to live in the midst of it. And then my third takeaway was what my therapist told me. You can pause there, but you can't park there. When life happens, when life knocks you down on the ground, either if it's from the death of a spouse, like what happened to me in 2018, the death of a very close friend, which happened to me last year, like, you can pause there, but you can't park there, because the harsh reality, and it's also beauty in realizing this as well, is that as long as we have breath in our body, as long as we have a pulse, we still have a purpose. God still has need of us. God still desires for us to do whatever it is that he placed us on this earth to do. So that can be the beauty and the beast of this life. Like, even though people die, even though relationships die, even though careers die, life still goes on. So you have to make a decision, and you have to make a choice to continue to live, and to continue to walk out your journey, and to continue to finish your race. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. You have to make a decision to get up and to fight and to keep pressing on. Like, I like to think of my healing journey as unusual, because I have been on the journey of life after my late husband for officially 3 years now. And I made a conscious decision very early on that I was going to get up and I was going to walk, and I was not going to stay in a place of pity and shame and woe is me. Yes, I still have my days where the tears and the memories overtake me, but God has given me like a resilience that I can't even explain for me to keep on going. So if you're watching this now live, if you're watching this on a replay, I want to encourage you that no matter what type of grief that you may have went through in 2021, no matter what type of grief you may be going through right now, you have to make an intentional decision to heal, and you have to make a choice to live as opposed to simply existing. So that's my message for today. It is my intention to get on here every Wednesday and to go live with a word of encouragement, a word of motivation. As I said, I am a certified life coach and resilient strategist. I am now accepting applications for my coaching program. You can visit the website that I left linked inside of the video to apply. And I'll see you guys on the next video. And I appreciate you watching. If you catch this on the replay, #replay. If you got any value, any takeaways from it, let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace and prosperity.